and proud to say we're proudly South African. So we're looking forward to see how it competes in the market, and as the people come onto the system, as they use it, and we're going to encourage that. People go and download the application, and I think they're really going to enjoy what it has to offer in terms of the technology itself.
Is this concession or an admission by the meter taxi industry that ride-hailing apps are the only way to go, and that there's no point in them continuing to fight in the way that we've seen in recent months?
I think it's just lack of understanding in the beginning. I think it needed to be imparted upon them, or a little bit of knowledge as to how these things work. It's not there to take away from you, it's there to improve you. So what we've done essentially is not just given the app, we've gone up and said, okay, we need to train you. We need to teach you how to get up to speed in terms of your service, in terms of the vehicles, in terms of how your etiquette. So all these things are considerations that have been made by us, and I think it'll go a long way in improving the service of the industry at large, and I think it's very important for the country and for the industry itself, the way they operate, and how can they be competitive, because the first person that gets off the plane, he gets a meter taxi, and that's an impression of the country at large. So it's very important for us we show a good face, but at the same time, if there is technology elsewhere in the world, why not have it here? We do have it here by other companies bringing it in. So we said, okay, let us also compete. And that's what we've essentially done.
180,000 taxis you're expecting to sign on, but at the moment, what's been the take-up? Do we have figures?
We wouldn't like to reveal the figures as yet, but what we can say, though, is...
Why won't you reveal the figures?
Because you're going to go region by region. You're going to do Johannesburg, and then you're going to do another city, and etc. So we are rolling it out at the moment. We are training the drivers. We are rolling it out. That's why we're going to encourage people to go out and download the application itself, because the service will be made available as quickly as we possibly can. It's going to be in the market probably by end of September. We're going to launch in a certain area, and then we will start to roll it out in different areas as we go along, because I think it's essential for people to understand. It's a mammoth task to train the drivers. We've got to make them ready for the market in a new way. We can't put what is old back into the market. We've got to put something new, because you've been facing a competitor who's come in with a different way of doing things. So we had to do things differently ourselves.
Training is great, but in terms of pricing, just how competitive will they now be? Because in the comparison between meter taxi costs, Uber and Taxify, the one thing that keeps coming up is that it is simply too expensive to use a meter taxi service versus the other hailing apps that are already available.
This is the reason why in our talks we spoke about regulation, because I think it's important. I think you don't want to absolutely kill the industry, because what happens is you have too much of an influx. So this works with demand and supply. So you have too many cars in a certain radius, all of a sudden your income is going to decline, because that's just generally the way things work. So what we've done, we said, how do we find an equilibrium here? So we've come in at our price, which is an equilibrium, which competes with the market. It does compete with the market over lengthy discussions with the Meter Taxi Association guys, and we've come to an agreement on something that is very, very competitive. So the market must just watch out for us and watch out for UKURI, because this is Yuku country, because we are proudly South African, and we want everybody to embrace what is South African.
There's also concern about the vehicles used by meter taxi operators compared to what we have again on the existing ride-hailing applications. Are we going to see an upgrade of the vehicles on the road?
When we started this process, we said this is a 5-year project, simply because we understood what was required. We had to look at it from the bottom right to the top. We had to say, okay, new vehicles are needed, technology is needed. Furthermore, the drivers need to be skilled. These are all considerations we had to make from the get-go. And what we've done, we started to engage government, and we are still in that process. So you will find we will have a renewal of these vehicles at some point, but it's going to be a gradual process. So what we're currently using now are the better vehicles, are the ones that can compete, are the ones that you would be proud to say, well, I've ridden in that car and that service was excellent, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. It is about the service.
All right, thank you so much for coming in. That was Yahoo Chief Operating Officer Kenny Nimach.